In 2026, right now, this exact moment, AI isn't just trending on social media. It's literally reshaping how the world works. And I'm not talking about some distant future sci-fi scenario. I'm talking about this week. Here's what's actually happening. Major tech companies just spent over $500 billion on AI infrastructure. That's not a typo. $500 billion. In 1 year, OpenAI released GPT-5, a model that can solve expert-level math problems that stumped researchers for decades. Microsoft announced AI agents that can autonomously run entire business workflows. And the US government? They're in a full-blown battle with individual states over who gets to regulate this technology. But here's the wild part. Most people have no idea how massive this shift really is. They think AI is just ChatGPT writing emails. Meanwhile, 40% of enterprise applications are being integrated with AI agents by the end of 2026, up from less than 5% in 2025. So why is everyone suddenly talking about AI in 2026? What changed? What's actually happening behind the headlines? Today, I'm going to break down the 5 biggest AI developments happening right now that are changing everything. No hype, no fear-mongering, just the facts about what's real, what matters, and what it means for you. Let's dive in. Let's start with the single biggest development, AI agents. And no, I don't mean chatbots. Think of it this way. ChatGPT answers questions. You ask, it responds. That's generation 1. But AI agents, they do things. They complete entire workflows, autonomously, without you babysitting every step. Here's what's happening right now in 2026. IDC expects AI copilots to be embedded in nearly 80% of enterprise workplace applications, and companies are already deploying what they call multi-agent systems. Teams of specialized AI agents working together. Let me give you a real example. A sales team used to manually research leads, draft emails, schedule follow-ups, update CRM systems, and create reports. That's 5 different tasks requiring human input at every stage. Now, an AI agent does all of it. It researches the prospect, personalizes the outreach, schedules the meeting, logs everything in Salesforce, and generates a weekly report, automatically. Around 35% of organizations already report broad usage of AI agents. Another 27% are experimenting with them. This isn't theoretical. It's happening now. Microsoft just launched something they're calling their Agent Factory, a platform for businesses to build and deploy fleets of AI agents. Google, IBM, and others are racing to do the same. If 2025 was the year of the agent, 2026 should be the year where all multi-agent systems move into production. But here's where it gets interesting. These aren't simple automation scripts. These agents can reason. They can handle unexpected situations. They adapt. If a task fails, they try different approaches. If they need information, they search for it themselves. If they encounter a problem they can't solve, they escalate to a human. Think about what this means. Your customer service? AI agents handling 80% of inquiries end to end. Your supply chain? AI agents predicting disruptions and automatically rerouting shipments. Your financial analysis? AI agents processing thousands of documents and extracting key insights in minutes. And the speed of adoption? Insane. Salesforce research shows a massive 282% jump in AI adoption from organizations implementing these systems. This is why everyone's talking about AI in 2026. Because it's not about better chatbots anymore. It's about AI that actually works for you. Now let's talk about the models themselves. Because something fundamental just changed. In August 2025, OpenAI released GPT-5, and it's not just better than GPT-4. It's different. Here's what I mean. GPT-5 is a unified system with a smart, efficient model that answers most questions, a deeper reasoning model for harder problems, and a real-time router that quickly decides which to use. It automatically knows when to think fast and when to think deep. The breakthrough, extended reasoning capability. When using reasoning, GPT-5 is comparable to, or better than, experts in roughly half the cases, across tasks spanning over 40 occupations, including law, logistics, sales, and engineering. Let me make this concrete. A graduate-level physics problem that would take a PhD student hours to solve? GPT 5.2 achieves 93.2% accuracy on GPQA Diamond, a graduate-level Google Proof Q and A benchmark, expert-level mathematics that stumped researchers. GPT 5.2. Thinking solved 40.3% of frontier math problems that professional mathematicians couldn't crack. But here's what really matters for everyday use. With web search enabled, GPT-5's responses are about 45% less likely to contain a factual error than GPT-4o. And when thinking, GPT-5's responses are about 80% less likely to contain a factual error. It's not just smarter, it's more reliable. And they didn't stop there. In December 2025, they released GPT 5.2, then GPT 5.2, Codex for Programming, each iteration better than the last. Then in January 2026, just weeks ago, GPT 5.2 demonstrated state-of-the-art long context reasoning, achieving leading performance on OpenAI MRCRV2. This means it can work with massive documents, hundreds of pages, and maintain perfect coherence and accuracy throughout. The annual number of commits pushed on GitHub jumped 25% year over year to 1 billion. Developers are using AI to code at unprecedented speed. In a survey of over 1,000 developers, 42% of code was AI generated or assisted in 2025, and respondents expect that to go up to 55% in 2026. And it's not just OpenAI. Google released Gemini 3. Anthropic's Claude is crushing benchmarks. Chinese companies like DeepSeek and Alibaba's Qwen are closing the gap between Chinese releases and the Western frontier from months to weeks. This is an AI arms race, and the pace is accelerating, not slowing down, accelerating. But all of this intelligence needs something: power. Massive, unprecedented amounts of computing power. And this is where things get truly mind-blowing. Wall Street analysts expect the largest hyperscale cloud computing companies to pour more than $500 billion into capital expenditures in 2026. That's $500 billion on AI infrastructure in a single year. Think about that number. That's more than the GDP of entire countries, all going into GPUs, data centers, and AI compute. Why? Because Deloitte says inference workloads will account for 2/3 of all AI compute in 2026, up from half in 2025. Inference is when the AI actually runs and produces answers, and everyone's using it, constantly. AI companies will have access to significantly more computational resources in 2026 as the first gigawatt-scale clusters start operating early in the year. Gigawatt scale. That's the power consumption of a small city. Just for AI training, Microsoft announced something called the Genesis Mission, building an American science and security platform operated by the Department of Energy, integrating supercomputers, AI, modeling tools, and federal scientific datasets. And it's not just about raw power. Microsoft's Majorana 1 marks a major development toward more robust quantum systems, the first quantum chip built using topological qubits. They're combining quantum computing with AI to solve problems that are impossible today. The infrastructure shift is staggering. Organizations are shifting away from underutilized servers in isolated facilities toward globally interconnected, high-performance systems. But here's the thing. Corporate America is excited about AI and spending unprecedented sums on new AI services. Businesses aren't waiting. They're going all in right now. This is why AI is exploding in 2026. The infrastructure finally exists to support it at massive scale. Now, here's where things get political, and honestly, kinda messy. On December 11th, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order that sent shockwaves through the AI world. The order aims to ensure a minimally burdensome national policy framework for AI by challenging state-level regulations. Here's what's happening. Dozens of states have passed laws related to AI, which include banning creating non-consensual nude images using AI technology, mandating government agencies and businesses to disclose AI usage, requiring checks for algorithmic discrimination, and protecting whistleblowers. But the Trump administration says this creates a problem. State-by-state regulation creates a patchwork of 50 different regulatory regimes that makes compliance more challenging, particularly for startups. The executive order does three major things. First, it directs the Secretary of Commerce to publish by March 11, 2026, a comprehensive review of existing state AI laws, identifying those deemed overly burdensome. Second, it establishes an AI litigation task force to sue states over their laws. Third, it instructs the Department of Commerce to condition $42 billion in previously allocated broadband infrastructure funding on the repeal of state AI regulations deemed onerous. The order specifically calls out Colorado's law banning algorithmic discrimination. The administration argues Colorado's law may force AI models to produce false results in order to avoid a differential treatment or impact on protected groups. Now, this is controversial, really controversial. Governors in California, Colorado, and New York immediately pushed back. Governors issued statements indicating the order will not stop them from passing or enforcing their local AI statutes and regulations. Critics say the order creates a Wild West for AI companies. Adam Billen from Nonprofit and Code said the chilling effect on states' willingness to protect their residents is going to be huge because they're all now going to fear getting attacked directly by the Trump administration. But supporters argue America needs to move fast to compete with China. David Sachs, White House AI, and CryptoKazar said, "You have got 50 states running in 50 different directions. It just doesn't make sense. We're creating a confusing patchwork of regulation. What we need is a single federal standard." The reality? At the moment, there is no federal regulation around AI at all. So we have this bizarre situation where states tried to regulate, the federal government is blocking them, but the federal government hasn't created its own regulations yet. Legal experts say this will end up in court, probably the Supreme Court. In 2026, we'll see a dizzying array of lawsuits in all directions. This is a massive part of why AI is dominating conversations in 2026. It's not just about the technology. It's about who controls it, who regulates it, who decides what's safe and what's not. And right now, nobody knows. Okay, enough about regulations and infrastructure. Let's talk about what AI is actually doing in the real world right now. Healthcare. This is massive. Microsoft AI's diagnostic orchestrator solved complex medical cases with 85.5% accuracy, far above the 20% average for experienced physicians. We're talking about AI diagnosing diseases better than human doctors in specific cases. According to Microsoft's Dr. Dominic King, AI is moving beyond experimental use cases into real-world patient-facing applications at scale, expanding past diagnostic support into symptom triage, treatment planning, and clinical decision support. Science and research. AI won't just summarize papers, answer questions, and write reports. It will actively join the process of discovery in physics, chemistry, and biology, generating hypotheses, using tools and apps that control scientific experiments, and collaborating with both human and AI research colleagues. In fact, GPT 5.2 Pro solved a previously unsolved open problem in mathematics directly, and external subject matter experts verified the proof. AI is literally contributing to human knowledge now. Software development. An internal curated data product was built in 20 minutes using AI-fueled coding, when it would have taken 6 weeks without AI. That's not a typo. 6 weeks to 20 minutes. Businesses can respond faster to changing needs, experiment with new solutions, and pivot away from legacy apps that require long-term investment through on-demand app development using agentic AI. Customer service. Visa declared that 2025 will be the final year consumers shop and check out alone. MasterCard, PayPal, and Google have all launched protocols for AI agents to make purchases on behalf of users. Think about that. AI agents that can shop for you, compare prices, make purchases, handle returns, all autonomously. Climate and energy. Google's DeepMind created an AI that reduced the energy consumption of their data centers by 40%. Multiply that across every major facility globally, and we're talking about cutting emissions by millions of tons. This isn't happening in 5 years. This is happening now, in 2026. Real applications, real results, real impact. So, what does all of this actually mean for you? For your job? Your career? Your life? First, understand this. AI experts believe we tend to overestimate the effect of a technology in the short run and underestimate the effect in the long run. The hype is real, but so is the transformation. For workers, the jobs being created by AI require different skills than the jobs being displaced. The workers who thrive will be the ones with expertise, who are also the most willing to adapt, with the single biggest differentiator being their ability to reimagine their job in an age where AI will help them. This isn't about AI replacing you. It's about whether you'll use AI to amplify your work, or whether someone else who does use AI will replace you. For businesses, 70% of organizations will prioritize aligning technology investments with measurable business outcomes when considering new AI infrastructure. Companies aren't experimenting anymore. They're implementing at scale. For students and young people, learning is the most important skill in an age where AI is generating a change of the magnitude we saw with the introduction of computers. The ability to learn, adapt, and work with AI tools is becoming more valuable than almost any specific technical skill. For everyone, stay informed. Question everything. Copilot and Bing already answer more than 50 million health questions daily. AI is already deeply integrated into your life, whether you realize it or not. The future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you participate in. And AI in 2026, it's the biggest participation opportunity of our generation. So that's why everyone's talking about AI in 2026. It's not one thing, it's everything. AI agents transforming how businesses operate, models achieving expert-level reasoning across dozens of fields, $500 billion being invested in infrastructure, a massive political battle over who regulates this technology, and real-world applications that are already changing healthcare, science, software, and daily life. This isn't hype. This is happening. Right now. If you want to stay ahead of what's coming next, subscribe to this channel. I'm breaking down the latest AI developments every week with zero BS and 100% facts. Drop a comment and tell me, what AI development surprised you the most? Which one are you most excited or concerned about? Next video, I'm diving into the AI tools you can actually use right now to boost your productivity and income. Tools most people don't even know exist yet. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, the future is being built today. Make sure you're part of it. See you in the next one.